But we should be getting our TAN check this week and the next day or two, the $100,000. And you could see on the balance sheet, we were down to 37,000 as of July 31st in the checking. So tomorrow we're gonna move another 100,000, because now the checking's down to like a few thousand. So that 100 from the Orange County Trust plus the TAN, then that should get us through until the first regular tax check comes late September, early October. So we should be fine there. And the first month, the all important salaries line is $405 year to date under budget. So we started out the first month slightly under budget. The books, nothing yet has been entered from July, because we're still working on finishing up June. So they're, same as normal. Books is always in arrears a little bit. Utilities is right on line, 1833 compared to 1867. We paid the first quarter answer bill, but I think the way I set the budget up was I just spread it out over 12 months, so really.
Instead of quarterly.
Yeah, I could change that either way, but we know that so the 6,000 is for 3 months, the 2 is for 1, so if you.
So it looks like it's 4, I got it.
Right, exactly, right on if we did it quarterly. Community development had more charges, because I think some of them were, just like that other line, were not spread out evenly, but the charges hit in July. I guess that was for some of Ken,
Right.
the play and everything. One other thing, back to the first page, this is the first month in a while where the library charges were actually pretty good. They came in over 2,000, so there was a lot of days where the sheet had like over $100 on it, so it's been the first time in a while that the library charges were pretty significant.
What's on the membership dues line?
I think that Matt, didn't we pay some membership fees for the year?
Yes, one was 233, I think, for SEAL, Southeastern, sort of like RCLS, but a wider geographical coverage. And there may have been some, what was on that? Possibly the chamber, I can't recall. SEAL, I know for sure.
And then the one to BOCES, I think, who's it, the Ulster BOCES, I think there was a couple for that, I think.
I have to look at it, yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember, but things like that, we could look into it. But that's probably the same as the others. We might have had a lot in this month.
Right,
No,
it was
we-
just yearly.
Yeah, it's like-
Right, it won't be that, but there's no way to figure out when to put it. We just had to spread it evenly over 12 months.
And
But-
miscellaneous expenses is rather significant.
Yeah, I have to look into that. It might be the Bank of America card that has to be broken out better, so it could just be stuck in miscellaneous for now, but I'll look into that and I'll get the details,
Okay.
because that stands out. I was out for a week in July too, so some of it's a little,
Mm-hmm.
and you see the loan is right there.
Mm-hmm.
Again, for the budget, we just put the total amount. We don't really budget the mortgage or interest separately. It's just one line that equals the amount.
Okay.
And the loan itself, the balance is now 233,
Nice.
873.31 as of August 1st. Right, so right after this, the first payment in August. So that's pretty much where we stand. We should be getting our TAN in the next day or two, and then we should have plenty of cash to get us through until the first 50% check, I think it is, on September 30th, October 1st.
Great. Any questions for Jack?
I know there's at the very bottom of that second page where it says net ordinary income,
Mm-hmm.
that we really don't have income.
No.
What does that mean, do you know?
That's just the difference between our, the income line and the expense line. And at the end of the year, it should even out.
But so.
Yeah, it's showing us
expenses,
it's showing us as a loss of 81, right?
Yeah,
Because we didn't get any of the tax revenue yet, so that's why, our revenue for the month is only the.
2,600.
Right. At the end of the year, that should more or less be close to even.
So the budgeted amount is 89. So if you multiply that by 12, that would be the total amount of money in the budget, I would guess then.
Right. Guess so.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions for Jeff?
Just, so the budget follows, the library budget follows the school year,
Yeah.
July 1?
Yeah.
Yes, yep.
And the library, go back to the library charges where you brought in more, what do you contribute that to, you think? Is the summer programs, parents wanting, kids wanting to take
Could be.
books out?
I was curious about that too. Jack, you said, you know.
Yeah, we had a lot of fines paid during the month, I think, because there was quite a lot of days where the envelope and the sheet that Linda gives me was more than it had been. Like in December when we were down for a week and everything, it was really, some of the days it was like $10, $20, $30. So
Right.
this month there was just a lot, more.
I mean, we've had a lot of traffic, and anybody that has anything over $5 can't take anything out
Okay.
unless they pay it down
So
below that.
kids came with their parents
Right.
for the summer program, they came into, but there was,
So that could account for.
mom and dad can't
Right.
take your book out, yeah.
They caught up with their, right.
I've been there.
Right.
Jill's just glad you didn't do a background check on me.
Outstanding fines you wouldn't have.
Oh dear, I'm sweating.
Well, thank you.
Anyone
Okay,
else?
great.
May I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
Well,
Jack and, Jim and Nancy, all in favor?
aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much.
Okay, great, thank you. Am I sticking around for the other discussion?
No, I don't think so. I think we can.
Okay, great, thanks.
Thanks very much.
Awesome, thanks everybody. Appreciate it. Thanks. Thanks.
Okay. The director's report, are we gonna do the committee reports?
Yes, please.
All right, so let's do that. We'll do the committee reports, so the only one I have in front of me is for the building committee. You're up.
We met on last Thursday, August 10th, and walked around and reviewed what was left over from last year and reviewed if anything needed to be added. We do have a serious issue with rotting wood in a couple of spots on the library that we're aware of, and such that there's holes. And so we're looking at a couple of things, repairing them in general, but also for the short term plugging the holes to avoid getting critters and flying critters.
Among our patrons, yes.
And you're not speaking hypothetically.
No,
No,
unfortunately.
Matt will expand on that later.
Yeah.
But yeah, just to keep them out for good, and also the elements for the.
Sure.
We happen to have a bad storm. I think we've been lucky enough for the past few years that it hasn't been too bad an issue with hurricanes. But the first thing is rotten wood, painting the exterior of the building, including the cupola on top, and but that might need to wait until after the wood rot is repaired. So it might just all dovetail together. The roof does still leak, and we need to get that examined. And getting somebody out on a rainy day, Matt was saying, was difficult to try and actually get them up there while it's leaking. Without that, it doesn't help because water always finds its own way around anyway. So. But it's definitely high enough, and whether we need to follow through and just repair the whole roof, it's in need of it. To get it replaced, but we'll need to get the monies for that. Also, we looked at the back parking lot. We'll need sealing soon, if not sooner rather than later. And then leftovers from last year as well. Repair the top of the wall, the cap on the wall for the exit door down here. Brickwork. The mortar in between the brickwork is needing repair in several spots on the sides and back of the building. Power washing is low priority as well. Power washing or painting the siding, but just to keep it clean and maintain. And then lastly, also there's an issue with the sidewalk on the side of the building. It is cracked and slightly depressed because we have delivery trucks that park on top of it because there's no curb right there, so they just ride right over it to drop off, both for us and also for the restaurant across the street and probably anything in the immediate area. So anything else, and then we looked at looking at that and between that and the parking lot, we also talked briefly about possibly reworking the parking lot and whether we'd gain any benefit from there between adding a spot or two for people or increasing the safety of the lot. And I went and talked to Ted Lewis about that today and asked him what the requirements were, and he said that we definitely need to apply for the planning to go before the planning board if we were going to change any flow in traffic, which is what we were talking about, and that's a couple it's like 175. He said to do that. And then the planning board may or may not ask questions that require an engineer. If they don't, and if it looks good, just whatever we draw it out, it might be fine to go at that point. But we'll also be talking about at that point probably breaking up the asphalt that's there and completely redoing it. So that'd be a significant cost anyway, versus just resealing it and repainting the lines. We don't have to do anything about that if the lines are going back in the same spot. And whatever is required that needs quotes, Matt's working on that to get some quotes.
Well, thank you. Is there anything you'd like to add?
Well, yeah. We only have, what, is it $5,000 set aside in the budget for building repairs? So, where does this money come from?
That's why we're not doing big things.
Yeah.
You know, repairing the wood, especially the hole over the side door. And I get turned around when I'm in this room. That's a couple of hundred. That's how it's gonna end up going. I don't know what redoing the driveway would be, but I think the high priority things, we have to find a way to pay for them, even if that means we have a bake sale or something. The friends will have a bake sale, we're not allowed to have a bake sale. But I don't know, but it has to be done.
Is it termites or is it just water
What do you mean?
that's causing the rot? I mean,
It's
or a
age.
carpenter ant
It's
or whatever
water.
it is.
I don't think we have any critters, I think it's just age and water.
Yeah.
I think they're just
Yeah.
falling apart.
Yeah, it's an old building and
Pieces of which is
I don't know.
dropping.
Yeah, they just fall down,
So it's
they
kind of
rot
just
away. I
put
think it's
those
just,
patchwork.
I think if we have a local carpenter who's done some work for us, and he's very good, and he's very thorough and a good price, and, you know, if we had him come and fix this door, and then next week come and fix this window, and come and fix, you know, we could get it done a reasonable amount of money, a reasonable amount of time, without it getting to be too big. You know, if we do one whole big job, then we have to, I don't even know what it would cost, but we'd have to put out for bids, and then we're talking not getting it done before winter.
Right.
But some of this stuff really can't wait. I mean, our little adventure the other day, well, it's a case in point. I mean, when it starts getting cold, things are gonna see those as an opportunity for a place to spend the winter, and that's the last thing we need, squirrels or something moving into the library.
There is one way to get money legally.
Yeah, tell us.
When we planned our budget, we never put in what's called a vacancy factor, which many organizations put in, which means that they assume when somebody leaves, there'll be a time lapse before you fill that slot.
Mhm.
And during that time lapse, you'll be using part-time people rather than full-time people,
Okay.
and you'll be saving money.
Mhm.
And we've had a librarian leave, and we're using part-time people, and I assume that part-time people don't have the benefits that the full-time person had.
In this case, he didn't. He actually was under someone else's insurance, so we're not saving anything that way.
On the medical. How about the
Yes.
retirement?
That we'd save on.
But I don't know, just round numbers, if
Mm-hmm.
he was making 50,000 and the replacements on a part-time basis are making 30,
That's true.
then over a 6-month period, we'd get $10,000. Over 12 months, we'd get $20,000. So if we simply make do for 6 months,
Mhm.
there's $10,000 which we could put toward the
roof.
building.
Question is, can you make do for 6 months?
Well, the issue that I think that we're facing is that, again, it's always a question of filling
Right.
hours.
Oh,
So when you have,
holes.
if you have the reference librarian out, would have given Thursday from 9 to 4:30, someone's covering that, and because it's civil service, they're librarians. They have a degree, and so they don't come at much less than he was in terms of straight pay. So those in terms of hours. Now you say there are other fringe benefits. We'd have to look into how much we're saving in
Mhm.
that arena. But as straight pay, I'm afraid that's not going to It's
Yeah.
not gonna be, it's gonna be nominal, the difference.
So his position can't be filled with part-timers, is what you're saying?
Well, it can be
They would
filled, but those hours are costing us almost the
the
same
same
as
that they would
straight, right,
cost us if he
Yeah.
were still here.
right.
Well, we have a few things that need to be done. One is to fill the holes, but the big job, the costly job, is to take all the caulking out of the windows that have to be replaced, scrape all the wooded areas, and paint it.
Right.
All around the building. That's a big job.
Yeah.
It's a huge job.
But taking care of these openings for bats and other creatures to get through in
Yeah.
is not going to cost a great deal.
No, it isn't, and
No,
that's, well, I
so-
mean, the high priority things that are on here, I mean, painting the wood, I think even within that job, it needs to be prioritized, which windows are the worst, which ones should, because if we don't have the money to
Right.
do the whole thing as one job, then we'll have to do it piecemeal.
Well, I
And we'll have to
see.
do it, this window's the worst window we have, let's get this one done
Sure.
first, that kind of thing. And then maybe over the course of a year or something, who knows what'll happen, you know,
Yeah.
and we might find more money here, more money there. Generous donor says, hey, I'd love to fix your library.
I see locate and repair roof leak as a number 2 priority.
Yeah, I think that's huge, because a building full of paper needs to be dry.
Yeah.
And having all the blown-in insulation up there acts like a sponge. What I'm
Who knows
afraid
how
of,
heavy that is now?
yes, who knows how much water
Saturated
it's
with
already
water.
absorbed, and one good storm, the ceiling comes down, you know.
Yeah, so-
That's a real concern if we have a leak. If it's not getting in here, it's going somewhere, so where's it going? And that's something we gotta worry about. So the repairing the holes and repairing the roof, I think are, and these are all important things, but if I would put the roof second.
And probably within budget.
Yes,
So-
probably, but who knows, because we have no idea what will be found.
Right. Yeah.
And yes, the painting is, the wood that's rotting around the windows is absolutely important, but are they leaking? Because the roof is, and if the windows aren't, then the roof has to get done first. I mean, any kind of water infiltration is priority.
Well, what about the fund? I know you guys, I don't know your philosophy on the fund balance or anything of, but it's a health and safety issue. Would you agree?
Well,
Or-
we don't actually have a real fund balance. We are actually gonna discuss this in detail in the executive session about
Okay.
a fund balance. But, yeah,
But if it's health and safety, you can.
absolutely. And I think that's something we should explore too, but we've already
Oh, really?
banged horns with the school board over basic misunderstandings of the relationship. So,
Us first theirs.
what's that?
Us first theirs.
Yes, they don't understand the relationship between the school board and the library, and so it creates problems, and lots of problems that don't need to be created.
And this is probably dropping the buck compared to what they have in their own fund balance.
You would think, but anyway. Yeah, that's another option actually, is to hand more money for next year and use the leftover money from last year to fix these problems, which is what we really ought to do. But we've already bothered them for this now, but you know what I mean? You know, it doesn't matter. But I mean, that might be a way to go, and then next year use an even larger TAN, because we will have spent more money, you know, so.
With the quotes, we'll have an idea of how much we can actually get away with using. So,
Yeah, well, actually,
yeah, I mean, if it's a larger, if redoing the whole roof or a portion of the roof, whatever the.
right,
point
we
is,
have no
yeah.
idea what it's gonna cost us, so, you know, we get to June 30th next year with $12,000 in the bank, because we had to replace the slate roof, you know, so I don't- I mean, if we have to do it, we have to do it, we just have to find the money, you know, it's. But I think the whole is not. Big upfront. We don't have to vote on accepting this committee's report, right, do we?
Sorry.
We don't vote on accepting the committee report, right? It is nice.
So Matt can proceed with the, filling those holes?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah,
working
and I
on
think
somebody checking for that,
exploring the roof leak.
locating the leak?
Yeah,
Mhm.
Okay.
and I think whoever repairs the wood, if they're qualified, could also give us a rough idea what those we're painting, and because if not painting it means the wood's gonna rot and the paint protecting it, right. So if we just get enough, we don't even know how much any of this is gonna cost, so I think if we have somebody ballpark bill that, each window is roughly $1,000 or something, I don't know. Something like that, if we had an idea, then we could be better educated on how to proceed next, after we get the roof leak taken care of.
Do we know about the caulking?
About the report, the caulking, or
Yeah.
I still have to get. I started. I made a little headway getting. To be honest, I couldn't. I couldn't find the woman from Bosse's. I have to contact Bosse's first and find out, just to trace it backwards again, because it was so long ago now.
Right.
So I didn't forget about it. I'll make sure to get it tomorrow. Talk to them.
Is this a lead thing?
Yeah, because Bosse's did the testing, but then
Yeah.
for some reason the school ended up with the tests, not us. So when I called the school, they
Open
basically said you didn't
station.
really need. You will not be able to understand. Well, maybe I'm making. Basically, it sounded to me like you need somebody to.
Yeah, right.
You'll need somebody to explain this to you. It won't
Well, either
materialize.
it has these
It's a
It
yes
does.
or
That-
no,
things in
It
it.
is a yes,
it is a yes,
but I guess it's a complicated yes.
because it's an exterior yes and not an interior yes, and
Paint
that
over
makes a
it, yes.
difference. Yeah, so that's, exterior lead is different from interior
Okay.
lead.
Oh, we just talking lead here?
Yeah.
Lead and asbestos was the.
It's exterior though, not interior, right? Is that the problem?
I think so.
Yeah.
See, in my
So,
mind, everything's divided between pre-Irene and post-Irene. All that stuff was right before this flooded and everything kind of got pushed back. Remember, we had a bunch of bids for all these things, and then it all got kind of thrown off
Yeah.
from
Yeah,
dealing
right.
with this. But the reports were done, and
Well, I think we could just
Right.
ask them for another copy because we should have gotten it, not the school.
I'm hoping that one way or another we'll get.
Okay. So any more discussion on this topic, anyone? Anyone have anything to add or any questions to ask or money-making suggestions? Okay, so we'll move along to the director's report.
We kind of talked about the main thing, which was that building tour. That was a big deal. Let's see here. I mentioned part-time librarians returning to fill some of the vacant hours that have given available since the departure of David Phillips. Variance request was signed. Two board members might not realize this. Every year after I do the annual report, it gets sent to the state. And basically it covers everything from, it's circulation and technology, personnel, and number of hours open, and so on and so forth. The state has a number of guidelines that they'd like to see libraries adhere to. And a few years back, they were given word that we didn't meet their guidelines for certain things like lighting and space and what were they? Lighting, space,
Handicaps.
handicap.
ADA compliance.
It gets a little complicated because that's different. Yeah, there's the
Different?
there's two. That's like
ADA is a federal.
ADA is a federal. This is just
overarching, and RCLS has their own, libraries should be.
right.
And
And there are
state wants us to be-
guidelines. That's what makes it a little tricky. It's like if you were to walk around upstairs and someone said to you, just out the top of your head, does this library have enough room for the population it covers? There's no formula that they give you. So you have to look around and say, well, one day I'd say, yeah, it's plenty of room. Another day I'd say, forget it. It's packed to the gills. You can't move in here, So the long and the short of all this is that once the state was given the information that we did not meet their guidelines on these specific issues, every year I have to file a variance request so that they allow us to stay open. But what that means is I have to show them that this board and myself, we're doing the best we can to deal with the situations in-house, and we're looking for a way to, to address it on a larger level by finding a building somewhere else or getting a building built or such. And as long as and this goes to RCLS's board reviews it, and then sends it to the state. Basically it's the board at RCLS that really says yes or no. If they were to say no, then the state says, I don't know, I've never seen it happen. It'd be dreadful if it did. But they do want to see that we're making a good faith effort to address the situation that we brought to their attention X years ago.
Mm.
And so anyway, that's been filed. I haven't heard back from, I think there's only about 4 libraries in the system that actually have to do this variance. It's funny, Goshen, you'd think, just because it has sort of well-heeled, and you wouldn't think it would be one of them when you look at the ones that are not, not putting anyone down, but they're, the Goshen is, the county seat, but we're one of 4 or 5 libraries that deal with this. So that was actually a big thing, yes.
The ADA compliance.
Right.
When, isn't that something we have to get approval to remain open for, not having,
I think that goes under the grandfather thing. Most they don't.
oh, it's not something each year you have to get
No,
approved?
this,
No,
this,
no, no.
Oh,
it's this
oh,
other.
okay, I thought that was,
Right.
No.
It does get
There-
confusing.
there
This is
are,
like a-
oh, I
There are
thought that was a
portions-
point
No,
that
no,
was
there are
used.
portions of this variance that have something to do with, how handicap friendly we are, how handicapped is, but it's not the ADA
But
compliance.
we
it's a
cannot
different-
say that we have to get approval to remain open because we're not ADA compliant. That's not a true statement.
Right. No,
I thought we did.
that we don't meet the state.
That we had to get
We
approved, that we
don't
had
get
to,
the,
huh?
But
no,
this,
go ahead.
the state, if I understand what you're saying, it's not federal, it's state requirements regarding handicapped people,
Right, it's the
which
state
is not
requirement.
ADA, which is
Right,
a separate
the
set
ADA is a
of.
federal
Okay,
requirement.
but it's something similar to ADA.
It's,
Yes,
yes, but
yes,
it's the
okay.
state version
Yes,
of
that's
it.
what I
So it
think he's
is
saying.
true that we do get,
Yeah,
a
we have to
variance.
get a variance every year to stay open.
because we're not, though we
Compliant.
can't say in this particular case, because
Right.
we're not ADA compliant, because we're not handicap access compliant, or?
I don't even know what they call it,
Okay.
but we have to ask for, but that's among the, do we adequately?
It's more general than it doesn't
Yeah, it's not,
specify.
the ADA has, how many inches wide
Inches,
doors
they're
have to
down
be,
to
they're
very
really
specific.
specific.
Yeah.
These are,
yeah.
are you handicap friendly, would you say a handicapped person could easily use your library? I mean, it's, I would say yes, someone in a wheelchair would disagree with me, but.
Especially that person that got caught in the
I was
aisle.
just gonna say, a person that got caught in the
Yeah.
stacks and took an hour to get him out, that person would
And-
disagree with me.
I just remember it being a point used
Variance.
to advocate for building a new library.
Yeah, who do you think reported us?
I know. Okay.
Skip the
Moving
case
on to the next subject.
Thank you.
The-
Okay.
So we had a visit from the insurance company, and that's to see.
Another
You were
one?
here for all these.
I was.
Oh, that one I called you in.
You called me in, I was here on purpose for that.
No, that was right.
I
But
just happened to be here when the bat was flying around.
they left me a letter that with these three tasks that had to be completed. And
Yeah.
that was the
And they're all
signage,
taken care
right.
of.
The chain on the
chains.
ladder outside.
Oh, you wouldn't believe, seriously,
God.
after hearing these gentlemen speak, you have to wonder how you go through life that risk averse. I don't know. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, that's okay. I got the sides up inside. I was happy to finally get that done. That took a while just to get the color agreed upon, but I think it looks good. The potholes they came and fixed. Thank heavens there was a trench out there. I'm trying to sort of run here. Okay, in the back, well, you got my little summary there. It disappeared. And
It's gone.
the next day, or 2 days later, the OC
Yeah.
Wildlife came in and investigated both the old and the new-ish attic. And he didn't see any signs of anything. He could see light coming through. He could see a place where obviously something could get in and out. And his best guess was that it had found its way into that attic, probably wasn't there very long, and as Danny has told me subsequently, that gets very hot up there, and that probably in the middle of the afternoon was not happy with its roosting place, and then detected cooler air from down here and found its way through some hole or some, and then realized it was broad daylight and there were people all over, and found its way back up into the where it had come from.
But I never set the alarm off or anything
No,
at night, so
no,
I think
that's
it got out
happened
of the
in the
building or
past,
something. Yeah.
Right. Then we had a couple car accidents in the parking lot.
Is that a sandal I saw?
Quite a month.
A sandal issue? When
Yeah,
somebody
it's,
got it stuck underneath
Oh,
the
yeah.
gas, I imagine?
Yeah,
That was my
flip-flop.
favorite
I think
one.
Flip-flop issue.
My
I
favorite
think
one.
she was given a talking to with the police. This is why you're not supposed to have flip-flops on when you drive. So I always wondered about that. And I thought it was bare feet, but apparently this guy
No,
was saying
they
it
just take them off. Drive with bare feet.
Anyway, she hit Jack's car with enough force to push it. I mean, it almost seems like she like a tank. She hit it, but not going too fast, but then continued and just forced it along. Because his front axle was
Fences
bad.
in.
And then a few hours prior, somebody ran over one of our
expensive.
no parking signs.
Yeah,
Um,
that's not
Did they
good.
complain about
They
the
complained
scratch
about
on
the-
it?
That's what I was told, but I didn't.
Yeah, she complained that the sign scratched her car.
The
You're
sign
kidding me?
scratch
After
your
she
car?
did,
Man.
yeah.
How fast was the sign going?
So I didn't feel like a fool when I called the insurance company to report. The woman was a little.
They were
she's
hilarious.
like, "Oh, if anyone should be complaining, it should be you."
She damaged her sign.
But anyway,
Yeah, but came in and complained that the sign
Scratch my
scratched her car.
sign. Wow.
Yeah. I just seen your sign and it scratched my car.
on a brighter note, the big band event, Ice Cream Social, which was kind of funny because Jim and I were at last minute. We weren't sure who was actually hosting it anymore. It used to be Ken DeShannon and the Friends, and Ken just emceed it. And then Ken's gone on his way, and there's not all that much to do, and it's paid for by Norton and Christensen. So in a sense, they really are the. So right now it's a little bit nebulous about who was actually running it. But Jim did a great job taking the mic because I was basically the valet. I was trying to. It was packed, and we had to keep.
Good.
We
Jim
had close
went and
to
got
100
chairs.
people there. It was amazing.
Was it? Wow.
How many?
Yeah,
Nice.
almost 100. It was packed.
Wow, that's great.
Some people brought lawn furniture, and we used that. And Matt was running back and forth to the library getting chairs, and he was working unbelievably the whole time. He didn't get a minute's rest.
Wow.
But
He
it
did
was
a great
great.
job.
Ice cream was there. I was happy. Yeah, it was. I would like to have it outside, but nobody complained. Everybody, they were able to.
Well, there was talk of a tornado coming
Right.
through.
Yeah.
Yeah, we couldn't stay outside.
So-
Yeah, you don't want to.
And
And it was so wet out there. I mean, they do have amplified stuff too. I'm sure they didn't want to put their stuff down on soggy ground
Mhm.
It's almost better in there for some reason. Well, with no bugs,
and no traffic.
And the
no
acoustics are
traffic
nice.
noise.
Yeah,
Um,
was it?
it really was a nice
Yeah.
setup.
The school board meeting room, is that what
Yeah.
you're talking about? Nice.
Oh, so it was moved. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
moved.
Yes,
okay,
it
wasn't-
went into
I
the
know, she
school
was
board
normal.
meeting
Yeah.
room.
School board room.
And now, in years past, we've never had a plan B. I don't know.
And the acoustics are good. We thought it would be too loud,
Yeah,
but
I
it wasn't. Acoustics were fine.
Well, you said to warn him, and I did, and he said they've done rooms smaller so they could
they modified.
bring their mutes and whatever. But no, it really was a great night. I was happy it all worked out because, a few hours prior, I was starting to get nervous. I mean, neither Jim nor I are really trained party planners, and there's a lot of people that have to be right, and there's a lot of things that have to be done, and it was just kind of like, is this going to work? But it was great. I mean, I called the school, and then the head janitor got a little strange with me because she wasn't sure what I was asking, and I guess I thought they had an ice cream cart, like you see, like in the city, I just remembered it being some big thing. She said, well, how are you going to get that in the front door? I said, I don't know, is there any way? And it turned out, when I called Elizabeth, who supplies the ice cream for a few of our events, they're really generous. What's the scoop? They just bring coolers and stuff. I mean, it's not a big thing, but for some reason in my head, I remember them pushing something around.
Mm.
Maybe they had to take, I don't know. But, so it all worked out, and we had a good time. So, any questions? I'm not sure what kind of bat it was, if you're wondering.
It's a fruit bat, that's all we have. Large.
Large.
It was large, it was very big. It's very
There was
big.
one that wasn't supposed to be here.
Right, it was an
Madam
outdoor
President,
bat.
someone told me it was this big, but Matt told me it was this
No,
big.
it was easily this big.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a big bat.
You could feel the
It was
breeze
really-
that went by you.
It was
We're
a really
pushing there.
healthy looking bat, yeah.
But the Youth Services Report mentions on July 30th a session called The Wonderful World of Bats. Now,
Wow, look
That
behind
day,
you.
actually,
Maybe that's what
we
happened.
were
Come to
supposed
think
to
of it.
They bring
have bats
bats with them?
in the library. The book for the preschoolers that afternoon or the next morning was supposed to be bats in the library. And Katie's, I'm not reading it, I'm not reading it. I'll read this and that thing will come swooping in. I said, the kids will think it's all part of the act, they'll never know, it wasn't supposed to happen. But yeah, that was that. Thank you, Matt.
You're welcome.
Is there any unfinished business?
You wanted to bring up I wanted to bring up, wait a minute, never mind, it's not my time yet. The September meeting for.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Is that
Well, yeah, we
finished?
need to, yeah, that's kinda unfinished, let's do it now. We wanted to, schedule a work session, just probably half an hour tops to get a start on our long-range plan. We have to do like 1 year and 5 year, I don't know if even 10-year is feasible, but, we all agreed to do that in September, so I don't know if anybody knows off the top of their head their availability. When's our September meeting?
10th.
10th, right? So,
That would be the 10th of September,
And the
The
Monday
third we're
before that is
closed.
Labor Day,
and we would be closed on Labor Day.
and we're closed on Labor Day, so it would have to be the 17th or 24th. Does anyone have a preference, or?
If you wanted to get it in before the next meeting, the availabilities would be August 27th.
No, I think we all
Would be
agreed on
2 weeks from
September
now.
because everyone would be back, there'd be no vacations, and, you know,
Okay.
we're all kind of back in the school year
Right.
kind of thinking thing, so. I realize, you know, we have 3 teachers working, with us, so the first week or so of school's probably a little crazy for you guys, right?
Little.
Just a tad. Do we have to do it on a Monday? We could do it any day of the week,
Any day.
right?
Work session can be anytime you like.
Yeah.
I just can't do Tuesday because of board meeting.
I can't do Thursdays.
You can't do Thursdays.
Bad times.
Tuesdays doesn't work for me either.
Might want to stick to Mondays.
Yes, there was Monday.
Yeah, I'll stick with Monday. So how about Monday, September 17th? Does that work
That
for
would be
everyone?
fine.
Yeah.
We'll do it our regular board meeting time of 7:30. That sound good?
Sounds good.
Okay. So we have to vote on that? Okay.
Is
Then
that
we've
too, that's
decided.
not too close to the end of the year for teachers?
Well, I just asked them and they said okay,
Oh.
so.
That's.
Once the year
Work
starts, it's never a good time, so it's fine.
I'll
I'll plan around
Way,
it.
doesn't matter, right?
No, earlier is probably better.
Yeah, okay, so we'll just make it work session. All right.
I have one other thing I'd like to mention.
Yeah, go right ahead there.
Well, 2 things. One thing is Michelle wanted me to pass along that they're finishing the summer reading program this week. They did a fantastic job again. She didn't ask me to say that, but I just mentioned they did. They always do. God, it went fast this summer, right? It's just like we were just gearing up for this thing, and it's like she told me today. I thought, what? There's like a month left.
The numbers are really impressive.
Yeah, they are.
Gosh,
Yeah, it's amazing.
terrific.
Yeah, she's
She's
something.
done. My daughter's volunteered, and she's run a.
Volunteered.
She's
Yeah.
great communication. I mean, and the kids know. She's done a great job
Yeah, they're
from the kickoff.
fantastic. Also, I volunteered Michelle and myself to help the Goshen Rotary with their Family Fun Day next week.
Okay.
If anyone feels like dropping by to, we're gonna have. I shouldn't say this. We might be overlooked a little bit because the stuff they have going on here, it's like a carnival, you know what I mean? It's football clinics and Zumba and DJs and whatever. We were just gonna do sand art and talk about books and be kind of a quieter element in all of this. So I don't know, we're just gonna bring a table, a tent, and see what happens. It's from 12 to 4, Craigville, August 18th.
It's first family. Yeah, they're pretty good. 12-4.
Would you like Jen to go make copies of that?
Well, we actually, there's on the table on the way out if you wanna take it, on that small round table, there's copies if you're interested. I mean, I'm not sure what we'd have you do, but you know, it's more the merrier, so if you wanna stop by, we'll be there probably 10 to 6 or whatever, but it's 12 to 4. I think I'm gonna have blueberry mountain ice cream and.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, count me in. Anything else on the company?
That's it. Oh, I wasn't gonna finish. I guess I'm into new.
I know I'm
Oh,
sorry.
well.
Sorry.
I launched off into
You
new.
went off on a, that's fine, so new business, the fall newsletter.
Fall
message
newsletter, yep.
From the board, you want?
If last time around Norma wrote something, if there's something you would like to, put in the newsletter, let me know. By the 27th.
Community Resources Committee is responsible
Okay.
for that.
Who's that?
Don't remember off the top of my head.
Carol, do you know off the top of your head?
Are
Community
you on the
Resources?
Community Resources Committee?
Does anyone remember?
I don't think so.
I'm sorry, I didn't get
The
the question.
the Community Resources Committee, besides Norma, who is it?
Nancy?
Nancy, I thought so.
Maybe. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
It was
I
like,
didn't
we're like 2
remember
months
either.
ago now, so I don't
That's fine, I know, we haven't asked you to do anything, so why would it stick in your head? If there's anything from the board, like a little statement to go in the newsletter,
Yeah,
is what you're
just a
saying. And you need it by
paragraph or two.
August 27th?
Yes.
Okay. So I will,
And I can email. Norma.
yeah, I was gonna say, please email Norma and see if she, not obligatory, just if she wants to,
Right,
right?
right, yep.
Anything else about the newsletter?
I think that's it.
Okay. You're up, sweetheart.
Awesome. First I stand over.
Yes.
Stand in front of the windy kid. For those of you who don't know me, which is Nancy Ryan, I'm Jennifer Cullen. I belong to Carol. She's my mom. You'll see me running around a lot. I haven't been to any board meetings because I've been in rehearsal. and we rehearsed for Shakespeare in the Park, which ran 2 weeks in July.
Mhm.
Wow, God, you're right, summer did go fast. We rehearsed for 4 weeks and put on a 90-minute Shakespeare, no intermission. We had a beautiful set. It was just wonderful. We had a great turnout. The first weekend, the Saturday was really hot. It must have been, I don't know, 95, 100. And we had like 75 people. And Sunday it rained. We had a small crowd of about 60, but nobody left, which was great. So we did our whole show. We powered through the rain. No one melted, which was good. And the second weekend was absolutely beautiful. I saw a couple of you guys there. Norma was there too. And we had almost 100 people each day, which was phenomenal turnout. I'm trying to think what else I want to say about it. Oh, I co-directed, which was kind of fun. And I was in it, so that was challenging.
You were
to say
very
the least.
funny.
Thank
You were
you.
outrageous. It was great.
Thanks. I was, the idiot. I mean, what else is new? So it was great. My mom and Donna gave out ice water, which was great. We got people to give some free will donations and to check out Cornerstone. And we were like, oh, who's sponsoring this? Goshen Public Library. And they're like, well, where's that? Because we had people come from Pennsylvania, New Jersey. Someone brought their family who was in from California for the week. They're like, oh, let's go down to Goshen, check out the Shakespeare. And they were just floored, which was awesome.
Beautiful spread in the Indy.
Yes, we
Yeah.
were an entire
Yes,
page in the
that's
Indy,
it.
which was
Nice.
great.
Tom's been
Um,
great. He's done it for a few things
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah, and the
Yeah,
library
it's
was front
been very
page.
good.
Oh, if you missed it, I was on the front page of the library making cotton candy at the kickoff, which was also great. You guys were just talking about Michelle. Phenomenal job. Is there anything else I wanted to say? I think I got everything.
The newspaper coverage
The
was a big
newspaper,
thing.
the lots of people, the awesome review. It was fun. We'll do it again next year. Same old, same old. I think that's everything. I think I got it. So, yeah, I guess that's about it. I don't really have anything else to say. So, if you didn't get to come out this year, hopefully we'll have it. It was weird because 4th of July was on a Wednesday this year. And Great American Weekend, it was just strange. So hopefully by January we should have our season figured out. So you guys will know, so you can plan your vacations around Shakespeare this year. So you have no excuses. And I won't be back until December, because I go to school in 12 days. So it was nice to meet you guys, but goodbye. And for everyone else, I know all of you, so it's okay. And that's it. Anyone have any questions, comments, concerns?
Great job.
quandaries? Thank you.
Thank you very
Awesome.
much for your hard work.
Yeah,
Thank
it was
you.
fun. It was
Great.
more fun than anything, so it was easy. When you like what you do, you never go to work.
Thank you, John.
You are very welcome, Miss Ellen Mary.
Is there any more new business?
Nope, I don't think so.
Anybody else want to bring anything up that I don't have on the agenda that you want to talk about? Okey dokey. All right. Privilege of.
I'm sorry.
Oh, sure.
Just one question. Do you want to do something about, or can we look into adding email addresses
Oh
for
yeah, I
board
thought of that
members
today. Yeah, we could do that.
at goshenpubliclibrary.org? Is that something?
Oh,
I mean,
if
I
you'd
know
like.
some of us, it wouldn't matter having an additional email on the phone, but I don't know
There's
who.
one more thing to check.
Yeah. Well, my phone will tell me either way. So, but
So you can give Bernie an email address from
Yeah.
the library.
yeah, I mean, if there's
So-
any.
What are you looking for?
He wants to give each board member an email address at Goshen Public Library the way
We
Matt-
on staff
he
has.
has mattg@goshenpubliclibrary.org, and so.
So
Some people
then,
can
how do we get
Check it.
those?
Well,
So-
it's I guess it'd be
Actually,
on.
there's a benefit to it, because you can, if you have a .org, you can actually get Microsoft products at
Student
it's like
rates?
having an EDU and an .org, so you can get like Microsoft products at a very cheap rate. So it's not, I mean,
Sign me up.
it's just that I just thought that because you used to purchase
get
it
Office
through, you get like Office for like $30.
Oh, all right
Yeah,
then.
it's
In that
a
case, I
bargain,
want
it's a huge
a
bargain, you get like the most recent Office,
Wow.
so,
Okay.
I mean, if that's something that I can look into it for you,
Sure.
Well, I have an EDU,
Please.
so.
So,
it'll update
so
it.
for the general public to email us, you mean, is that the idea, or were we going to use that for library business?
Yeah, I was looking for the general public in case.
So like on the homepage of the library
just
where it
have
has
that
all our
rather than your-
information, instead of having my regular email address, it would have the Ellen O'Brien, whatever, at Goshen Public Library.
Right. Then you can choose to check it as you, as often
And
as
I
you
can
like.
ignore that like I ignore the other ones.
So Laura has one. I gave one to Laura to friends.
Yeah.
When she asked to have
All
one.
right, well, if, I don't have a problem with it, 'cause all that deluge of mail I get from the general.
But in order
public.
to, in order
Just put
to
one
check
more app on
that,
here.
how would you check that from your
yeah,
home?
That's a good
for
question
example?
too.
Are you able to check your email
Yes.
on
Is
the
it
web,
Novell?
on a website?
How do you
Yeah, what do you do, Dave? What's the,
Just to get into the portal,
yeah,
there's a little staff only button at the top,
that's right.
and there's a little drop down, and there's a little thing that says Google Apps.
Oh, it's cool. Okay.
If you mouse over that, it'll give you a couple, I think there's like 3 or 4 options, like Google Calendar, Gmail.
Mm-hmm.
You just click on there, and the rest is all downhill.
Oh, okay.
That's a Gmail account.
And you can also put it on your mobile device, on your tablet or something like that, because it's a regular Gmail account, so.
Oh,
behind
it's
the
a
scenes.
Gmail account, it's not a Goshen Public Library account?
Well,
It's scotiapubliclibrary.org, but it's
But
Gmail
it'll,
behind the
it'll
scenes.
redirect
No,
it
behind-
to
Right.
Goes
Gmail,
through a
I got it.
Gmail portal.
I think I understand, sort of.
well, it's kind of interesting.
Yes, dear.
It's interesting because, and maybe that's what's happening now. I just haven't checked. We could post documents. We're talking Google Apps, right?
That's right,
Sure.
yeah.
We could post these documents that we share amongst ourselves before the meeting's there, and we could log into it. And
So just do Google Docs for all the for all of the meeting paperwork you need, and then we could all look at it together.
well, I mean, you wouldn't have to mail them to us, email them to us.
It would all
You
just
just
be
post it there, and we
separate.
get in there if we want to get the
Oh,
electronic
okay.
copy.
Then you just go get it
Yeah,
instead
so
of you
it
having to email it to everybody.
Yeah, so it
That
save
makes
you some
sense.
work.
That would save you some
Cut back
work.
on printing if you want to bring a laptop, right? Is that?
Actually, yeah, that's another opportunity.
That's it, we can all sit here with laptops and
Or not.
Hey, it
iPad or
happens.
whatever.
Yeah.
Will that
You
work,
should see
Dave?
the board members just play with their computer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so
right.
you're all playing free cell.
That's right.
You're really busy over there.
Yeah, right, it's Angry Birds.
On we're going into executive session, probably, but in relationship to the school district, there's the Common Core is coming, which is a new curriculum. But the problem districts are gonna run into is nonfiction.
Okay.
And this is something I think the library should be aware of, because I think this would be an opportunity for us to,
Fill the gap.
fill a gap for a school district and to arrange a possible meeting with, possibly Jane Onion.
Ah, she's in the Rotary, I see her all the time. so-
She's the curriculum
Yep, yep, okay.
person, and to say, hey, this is what we can do, because districts are going to be expected. You should see the book list that students
Right.
have to read according to the new Common Core standards. And so
Can I
I
get
think
that somewhere, that list?
yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I'll give you the address after. We should be up to date on what kids the students are going to be expected to read,
Mhm.
because we can fill that gap, and that would be a relationship builder if we're having
Absolutely.
a problem with the school district in the future or whatever it may be. So I think that's something we should definitely take a look
That's a
at.
great idea.
That is a
Yeah.
fantastic
So,
idea.
because they don't have the budgets to buy all the nonfiction for their
Mhm.
students. So, and if we get in the same language as the districts, such as leveling our libraries, the parents can come down here and be like, my kid's a Z, or according to font something, or whatever it may be. And that there is, becomes an easier resource for parents to bring their kids.
Okay, okay.
So, it's just an idea.
They still haven't reopened the library in GIS. And
Yeah, that's another issue, so there's not a librarian there.
what about middle school? Do they have a librarian?
I don't know.
Yes,
if they have
we
any-
have,
do
that's
they?
mandated. Middle school and high school is
Right,
mandated.
I knew the high school was, but I wasn't sure what
Middle
was going
school
on
is
with
too.
middle
That's
school.
why
No.
they were both moved.
Scotchtown, they don't have a
No.
librarian?
Is it shared? Is it a shared librarian between the middle and high school?
No,
No,
we
it's
have a
separate.
librarian. Yep.
Yes, that is a gap. That's
Mhm.
that we see as parents and we also see as educators too. So I mean, I think that definitely there's a place now for
Absolutely.
that library, especially for nonfiction coming in. The big push for it.
Oh, that sounds great.
Right.
Cool.
Thank you. Okay, privilege of the floor. All right, can I have a motion to go into executive session at 8:19 PM?
So move.
Jim and second, Keith, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, aye.